Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Junzi. My name is Juno.
And I'm Benzi.
And this is a podcast about our relationship to the world.
And how that impacts our relationship to each other.
And this week we're talking about the topics of making and breaking agreements. And that has come up a lot in our lives over the past several years since getting involved with relationship anarchy and then the differing perspectives we have on it and some conflicts that have come up in our own relationship. So, yeah, we're going to talk about what our approaches to those things are. So I'm visiting Tucson again right now, and the last time I was here, Benz and I got in a pretty intense conversation about this. We both come from a history over the past several years ago, being in community with other people practicing relationship anarchy, that intentional community, where there was a social norm of being really critical of making agreements that are seen as promises or contracts, especially monogamy. But in general, that idea bled out into many different kinds of agreements where we were, at least I was and many other people were critical of the idea that people should always be expected to keep their agreements that they make in relationships.
But also they should be conscious even when they're making an agreement. To be more conscious about the agreements you're making.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Right. Do those agreements actually align with what you think your capacities are, what your values are? From some people, there's definitely I think this differs with me, definitely a drive for people, encouraging people to figure out what's your likelihood of actually keeping this agreement. Are you a good predictor of your own behavior, which is something you say a lot. And so that's just, agreements, making them and breaking them have been a big part of our thinking about relationships for many years. And we have some different disagreements, I would say, about that.
Disagreements, yes.
Yeah, did I not say disagreement? What? Did I say disagreements?
No, because it's agreements, but with a prefix.
Okay. I don't understand what you're trying to do right now. I don't know what you're trying to do right now.
I'm not trying to do anything.
I think you're trying to do
Let's just let it go.
Okay. So in general, and we'll give some more specific examples later to flesh this out, but I think it seems like what our core disagreement is that, oh, now I get what you were doing. Oh my God. Oh my God. I am so silly sometimes. I'm so like, okay, now I get it. Okay.
That's so funny. I thought you got it and thought it was
I
too
didn't.
dumb.
I didn't. I was like, yeah, I just said disagreements.
Okay.
I didn't understand that we
I'm enjoying this moment.
This is really funny to us. But yeah, okay. So I do think one of our core differences is not really hyper aware of it. You have a really strong aversion to, it seems like, and I would say intense response to, you are really against, I don't know if against is the right word, you can correct me, people not living up to the agreements that they make, breaking them. And I am much more flexible about that. I'm very open and expecting people not to meet some of their agreements. There's caveats. I have more to say about that, but I want to give you space to...
Yeah.
Yeah, will you say more about...
Yeah, I definitely put people in folders in my brain of who I expect. There's some people who I know can't keep agreements, so I no longer expect them to keep agreements. Mm-hmm. But until that happens, I do expect if people say something that it's going to happen. Or at least they'll communicate if there's a change. Mm-hmm. I'd get hurt and angry over uncommunicated agreement changes. Yeah.
Uncommunicated specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you be willing to give an example of that for you personally? What that might look like?
Yeah. Maybe me and the person I live with agree someone's not welcome at the house, and we have a conversation and we agree on that. Mm-hmm. And then I find out later that they did decide to start bringing that person to the house again and never talked to me about it, I super hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have another question about that.
Sure.
But I don't want you to feel interrogated, but I want to understand more of your perspective. And then I want to give my own.
Yeah.
What is the hurt? What is that feeling? What do you, what's the interpretation and the emotion?
That we co-created an expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so then I find out that the reality I think I've been living in isn't real. Mm-hmm. And someone I love and trust didn't update me on the reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it feel like a lack of care?
For sure.
Like that's what's part of going on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have another question. Because I want to explore this, I want to pull it apart a little bit.
Okay.
Because I want to say I completely understand that, I would have, similar reactions in similar types of situations. And I guess I'm curious if for you, you would feel differently if the person that you live with had communicated to you, hey, I actually don't agree with this anymore, so I'm going to do this thing that you don't want to happen.
Totally.
Would there be a different, response?
I would probably still feel upset that there's a thing happening in my house that I don't like, but it would be an extremely different type of upsetness. Like, I feel like without the communication, I'm upset about two different large things instead of one thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, so it's the communication is the biggest thing, not necessarily someone being like, I'm actually not going to I'm going against the agreement is not the most upsetting thing. It's more lack of communication about it.
Yeah, and there's layers to that. Critical timing can affect how much communication matters. If someone agreed to take me to the airport and then they message me when it's too late for me to get another ride that they're actually not going to take me, then they communicated with me and I'm still like, wow, that sucks. Yeah. Yeah, I would be angry about that.
I would be angry too.
Yeah.
Yeah. My perspective is that, one, there are lots of types of agreements where if someone decided not to honor the agreement we made anymore, it would really screw me over in a way in which I don't have other options. I was really depending on them to do this thing, and now that they've opted out of it, I can't get that need met another way. So those are the types of agreements where I'm like, I really expect you to adhere to the agreement or let me know way in advance that you aren't going to do it anymore so that I have other options. There are, however, lots of types of agreements that I think people make that I personally do not think are reasonable agreements to expect someone to keep adhering to. And so the reason why I am sometimes in some situations very like, oh yeah, I totally understand why this person didn't honor the agreement anymore. They decided to opt out of the agreement is because I disagree with the initial agreement. And something that I notice when I bring this up in public spaces, mostly online, but also in person, is that it seems like the dominant perspective is that regardless of what the agreement is, the agreement itself could be ridiculous. Even people could think this is a bad agreement. And prioritize the fact that just the agreement was made regardless of what the content is. And they're like, you should always honor your agreements as if they're promises no matter what. And that's the sentiment that I don't agree with. I want to have discernment about the kinds of agreements that are being made. And if I think the agreement is bad, I'm like, well, yeah, people aren't going to be able to honor that all the time. You shouldn't expect them to.
Yeah.
And it's not, and I also, I might think it's unfair to have that expectation of them. And I would say monogamy is one of those things where I'm like, I would expect people to cheat. We can get more into that. I know people are even mad at me.
I feel like we should take a step back to just a common agreement that you and I differ on.
Oh, okay.
Which are fluid bonding agreements.
Oh, okay. Maybe I feel more lenient about that, about the fluid than I used to. But yeah, so for people who don't know, fluid bonding is an agreement where two people will decide we are only having barrierless sex with each other. And I think it typically only applies to intercourse sex. Most of the time, that's how people mean it. So yeah, like, we're the only people having... And it only makes sense. I think that only happens when it's a person with a penis and a person with a vagina. I don't hear about people... Oh, no, it could be two people with penises. But it's just so... I don't know. I think it is
I'm
important.
most familiar with it, with penis and vagina.
Yeah. I do think it's relevant just to create the cultural context for it, which is that, yeah, I'm most familiar with it in that sense. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it is very heterosexual. But I don't... I could be wrong. It could be something that gay men do with each other, too.
Yeah.
A lot. But I don't hear about two women who have vaginas doing that kind of thing. Because a lot of times we're not using barriers.
Yeah.
With other people who have vaginas anyway.
Yeah.
So that's not really a thing. Yeah. It's just interesting, the cultural difference. Anyway... Yeah, what do I think about that now? Yeah, so I feel a lot softer about the idea of people making that kind of agreement, and I still hold the view that it is totally reasonable for someone to, in the heat of the moment, not adhere to the agreement by having barrierless sex with someone else. I think sexual agreements are an area in which I just know to expect so much human error because of the nature of sex and eroticism. I'm like, yeah, people are not gonna adhere to that.
Yeah, the moment I get uncomfortable about it is then having sex with the person you have the agreement with and not communicating that you decided to exit the agreement.
I mean, I definitely think people should communicate that.
Yeah.
We agree on that.
Okay.
I think people should communicate that. And I think that it's important when making that kind of agreement to discuss what the consequences will be if somebody decides to opt out of it and communicates that to you. And to make sure that the consequences are not punishments. And what I mean by punishment is not just the natural consequence of someone being like, okay, I'm not going to have sex with you right now.
Yeah.
Or like, we both need to get tested before we have sex again. It's more so, are you going to not just get angry at them? I understand getting angry, but more so direct blame at them as if they have done something wrong for deciding to no longer be fluid bonded with you, which is something that I do think is very common in fluid bonded relationships.
I would agree with that.
And that is part of what makes people not want to communicate, is that if your partner's going to be like, you fucking asshole, and treat it as if you have cheated on them, as if you're cheating on them, that is not a context in which there is going to be freely given ongoing consent for the other person to stay in that agreement with you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think we should be treating each other that way in any context.
I agree.
So.
Even a lot of people who feel similar to you, we shouldn't treat each other that way in any context. Sexual bonding is the area, intimate, romantic sexual relationships. That's the area in which all those values go out the window. They're like, well, what if you do that, I can talk to you that way. Yeah, I see that happen so much.
Yeah, societally, cheating is the thing. It's okay to murder people over it.
Oh my God, yeah.
Mutilate people.
Yeah.
And this is the non-monogamy version of cheating in a lot of people's eyes.
The breaking the fluid bond?
Yeah.
Even if you tell them? Or just in general, you're saying?
Yeah, just people have the emotional reaction.
Yeah.
Similar to cheating.
Very visceral, like, you're doing something horrible to me.
Yeah.
By not letting just me have exclusive access to this thing with you. And I do think that is just mimicking monogamy in a way. Of course, it's not in totality monogamy, but I do think if that is the sentiment around it, not like, hey, can we just both do this thing while we both agree to it? And it's okay if you decide not to do it anymore, but treating it as this contract that you better stay in this contract with me or else you're doing something wrong to me.
Yeah. I agree with that. It does, as much as the human error of having sex makes sense, the error of becoming very attached to that agreement and having emotional reactions to it make sense to me.
Yeah.
I still don't think you should be mean to someone, you know, but I definitely have experienced scream crying in a shower because of that kind of thing happening. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it totally makes sense and it's totally okay to scream cry in the shower about it.
Yeah.
I also think it's good to try to analyze, why is this so intense for me? What meaning have I attached to this? You know?
Yeah, and I also feel a lot of emotional pain around somebody having that agreement with somebody and me feeling like, wow, I've lost this super important piece of intimacy with you because you've made that agreement with someone else.
And so they can't have barrierless sex with you.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it fucking hurts. And yeah, they have the right to, anybody has a right not to have sex with me in any capacity.
Yeah.
Regardless of my feelings. But yeah.
I think, yeah, anyone has that right, and even though people have that right, we can still be critical of the reasons why they exercise that right. That's my approach to literally everything.
Yeah.
Whenever you're critical of anything, people always say, well, but people have the right to do it. Did they choose to exercise that right?
Yeah.
We can analyze that, and there's so many things impacting why people make those choices that are political and have to do with power and ideology and social norms. So, yeah.
Totally. And it's super fun to break down behavior and choices, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, were you going to say something? I had something. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm curious, when we last had this agreements conversation, it seemed like we really differed. And
yeah,
I'm not finding that difference so strongly right now. So.
Well, because the last time we disagreed, it was in the context of the specific story that you were telling me about at the time. Well, okay, and I think it does have to do with, I think, because we both agree that it is the best policy to communicate whether or not you truly are in an agreement with someone.
Yeah.
You know, and to say, hey, I'm not going to do this anymore. I still am more lenient with people who don't do that than you are. That is our disagreement, I think. I could say, I think this person should have communicated this, but I still actually don't. I understand why they didn't for a lot of the punishment reasons that I already went into. And also the way that social norms, the dominant way of relating, can really put a lot of pressure on people to keep appearing as if they're engaging in an agreement when really they're not. So we're talking about cheating. Really, let's just, be transparent about that. Totally. I have a lot more, I think, leniency toward people who are cheating than you do.
Okay.
In some situations. And I think that's, you were getting really upset with me. You were getting upset with me about the specific situation, which we could talk about. Yeah.
I guess my version of non-leniency is I'm like, oh, I don't think they should have done that, or I think they're being a douche.
Oh, that was it. As you were kept calling this person a douche, and I was like, well, it was funny over that word.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't think he's a douche. I don't like what he's doing, and I also think the original agreement is flawed.
Yeah.
Can I say a little bit more about that?
Sure.
Here's my issue with a lot of times these breaking of agreements, and specifically within the context of cheating, but so many other contexts too, is that people will often only focus on criticizing the breaking of the agreement without communication, you know? And they are really, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but they're really aversive to looking at, well, was there a flaw with the agreement in the first place? And they're like, well, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, it does matter.
Yeah.
And I like to take a different view, and I like to sometimes focus more so on the original agreement and how sustainable that was actually going to be, and also how much I think that it's actually just to make that kind of agreement. You know,
Totally.
Instead of being like, well, you broke it. And I do feel like you were going more toward the direction of focusing on the breaking of the agreement in this situation.
Sure, yeah.
And that, I think, was our real tension. I kept going, the agreement isn't... I don't agree with the agreement.
Yeah. I think monogamy agreements are extremely difficult to upkeep, even for people who identify as monogamous.
Yeah. I mean, cheating is extremely common. It's very prevalent.
Yeah.
People are ostensibly monogamous. You know, they're not really monogamous a lot of times.
Yeah, and I find what feels important to me when I'm criticizing somebody for breaking it is them continuing to make that same agreement even in a new relationship. They're going to make that same agreement and break it.
Yeah, I hate that too.
Yeah.
I don't want them to do that. But there are reasons why people do that. I want us to understand the reasons why. And not just think, well, you're just being a douche. That doesn't really give us, it's like, what's going on?
Totally. And calling someone a douche is an emotional reaction.
I mean, yeah.
Because someone I care about more is being hurt, you know? And, but yeah, I totally am on board that it's a pretty bad agreement and should be explored. And it would be my preference for those people to explore the reality of what they are capable of agreeing to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing was about this particular situation, which I want you to describe a little bit more, because it was also about how much we were holding the person who you were framing as a victim in this situation responsible for their own situation.
I wasn't holding them enough accountable?
Yeah, it seemed like you didn't want to hold I want you to explain the situation so that people know what will you say what it was, actually? What happened?
A stay-at-home mother with multiple kids who doesn't have work experience or education, and a provider husband who's cheating.
And who continues to cheat and then says he is discovered as cheating from his wife or his friends.
And apologizes and then
apologizes and says he's not going to do it again, but then he does do it again, and this has happened multiple times.
Yeah.
Okay. And my perspective is 100% that is very hurtful to experience. And there's a power differential here economically and socially, politically, because of their genders and their roles in society. A stay-at-home mom who doesn't have job experience versus this working man who makes all the money. 100%. That power dynamic matters. And also, why does she believe him over and over again?
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of acting like this person doesn't have any responsibility for her own situation.
Totally.
She keeps making this ridiculous agreement with this man who she does know is not keeping the agreement. What is she doing?
Yeah.
You know? And if she's trapped, she just needs to acknowledge, I'm economically trapped. Not that it's about trusting this guy in this romantic relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She needs help to economically escape that situation.
Totally.
As my perspective. And she is responsible for that. For herself. And that means asking for help. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would love for her to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not willing to just assign her, well, she's the victim in this situation. And the guy, you know what I mean? I don't want there to be a clear victim perpetrator, which is at the time when you first brought it up to me, I did feel like you were framing it that way.
Yeah, I think someone can be leaving behind a level of agency and still be a victim in a situation.
Wait, leaving behind a level of agency and still be a victim? I don't understand what that sentence means.
Yeah, someone could have a certain level of power to escape logistically and still be a victim trapped in a situation.
Yeah, I think people can be I guess I don't know what you mean by that. Could you say more?
Well, it's hard because I don't understand what's confusing.
I guess I don't understand exactly. They have the power to leave the situation, but they're a victim. But they're trapped. Those seem contradictory to me. How are they actually trapped if they could leave?
Yeah, I would say a lot of people in abusive relationships physically have the power to leave. And I'm actually not calling a husband cheating an abusive relationship.
Okay.
Just to be, it doesn't hit my personal barrier. But a lot of people are in abusive relationships and emotionally don't have the capacity to leave.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Even though they physically have the capacity to leave.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is a semantics difference. I don't know if I still would assign the term. I have a hard time with the term victim, I think, in
Okay.
general. So maybe that's even separate from this. I do think people are real victims of abuse, of course. And I also, I think that oh wow, now we're going into abusive relationships. I want to say this really quickly. I think that if the like biggest barrier to someone leaving an abusive relationship is their own psychology about it, that is not necessarily a clear-cut situation of them being trapped by the abuser. They're trapped by their own mind. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that person isn't abusing them and isn't doing something wrong. But yeah, if there's no real physical threat, to them leaving the situation, it's really they still love the person or they have low self-esteem or something.
They are trapped, but the other person isn't the trapper.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, in all situations. Yeah.
Not all situations.
I just want to make sure I'm not making any, there's always caveats and differences. I know people are going to be really annoyed at me for saying what I said about the abusive situation, but I fully believe that people can be trapped by their own minds in abusive relationships, and they aren't necessarily totally trapped by the person who's abusing them.
Yeah.
Fuck it, people are going to hate me.
I think that is just a true statement.
A lot of people will not think they'll be like, that's not true.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to think this is horrible, but yeah. And I've experienced decades of domestic violence. Like, I've been a child in decades of domestic violence. And yeah, anyway, I just want to say, it's not like I've never been abused.
Yeah, and different abuse situations look different.
Yes.
I'm sure you have your story of why yours is different.
Okay. Anyway, so back to the agreements thing. Back to agreements. I do think something is going on, even in the situation that you gave, and this happens a lot, in which people do keep expecting their partners to act in ways that, to me, are unreasonable to keep expecting their partner to behave, which is keeping a certain kind of sexual agreement or relationship agreement or whatever. And I, in general, think it's unreasonable to believe that people will, for the most part, remain monogamous with you.
Yeah.
I think it's totally unreasonable. They're not going to. People want to have sex with multiple people and fall in love with multiple people. Yeah, and they still love you and want to have sex with you. That is what looks like the most natural thing to me. So, yeah.
Yeah, I do think that is what most people will do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is why, as I know people, I try to do my own analysis of their ability to predict their own behavior.
Yeah.
It opens me up to being capable of friendships with people that a lot of other people have intense conflict with. Because I'm like, they're like, they didn't do what they said they were going to do. And I'm like, yeah, they never do what they said they were going to do.
Yeah.
Creating my own standard of what it's going to look like to be friends with that person stops me from getting hurt in those situations. Yeah,
it's like figuring out, what do I need to do to take care of myself in this type of relationship without relying on that person.
Yeah.
And you can still have a relationship with them. It's also okay for people not to decide, my boundary is that I can't be in a relationship with them.
Totally.
But it doesn't make sense to keep trying to be in a relationship with them and keep expecting them to be different than they are.
Yeah.
It's like...
I find a lot of extremely unreliable people to have other relationship qualities that I value. And so that isn't a requirement for connection to me.
Yeah. And that's something we got into in the car that one day when we were talking, because we were talking about this whole thing at a restaurant and then on the way back to the house.
Yeah.
Because you were saying to me, and I got really activated by this, that you can't rely on me to keep any agreements, so you don't make any agreements with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, wait a second. We've made so many agreements.
Totally.
But do you want to say more about that? Like,
I get, my memory would be that it's coming from an older place in relationship. Which I think both you and I do, is take things that happened pre-2020 and still assume those things about each other.
Yeah. Have those old stories that haven't been updated.
Yeah.
But I will say, my personality is that I'm not always a good predictor of my own behavior. And so that is true. Yeah. I agree with you on that. I definitely, can think, or I don't know what it is. I imagine, or I have a desire to have the capacity to do something. And I have such a strong desire that I'm like, you know what? I bet I could do it.
Yeah.
And then I find out, wait, I can't. And I don't know why I want to be that person. Ooh, I have so many thoughts about this now.
I do think you're good at, though, is communicating when you say you want to do something that you might cancel.
I might drop out.
Which actually
I've had to get good at that.
Does remove the layer of you're not good at predicting your own behavior, because you do predict that you might cancel. Yeah. And you communicate that. So that's why I would take back that label from you.
Okay, great.
But I do predict you might cancel anytime we make an agreement.
Yeah. I love that. I like that reframing. I think I have gotten better at predicting my own behavior, which is that I have trouble predicting my own behavior. A riddle. It's weird, like...
I will never forget early COVID. We were on this walk, and you said something about, I don't want people to predict or have expectations of how I'm going to behave based on my past behavior.
I do remember that. And I still don't like it.
Yeah, and I was like, why? I predict that you're not going to pull a knife out from behind your back and stab me, and that's why.
I know.
That's why we're friends on this walk together.
Yeah. I don't feel that way that strongly.
I'll just never forget that. It was so
that's really funny.
Intense, that conversation.
I do kind of remember that. Yeah. And I think where I was coming from was actually at the time this really intense anxiety about people getting mad at me for changing my mind. Yeah. Because at that time, I don't think I didn't have as good of a practice as I'm developing now of making sure people know that I will sometimes cancel on things or drop out of projects. Mm-hmm. You know, I was just afraid of the backlash. Yeah. And also what was going on for me is slowly recovering from people pleasing, which I'm still always in the process of. Yeah. But part of the people pleasing is overcommitting to things, agreeing to do things that I know other people want to do with me or that they want me to do, and then realizing later I hate this and I never wanted to do it, and it would just deplete me so much to do it, and then dropping out later with an intense amount of guilt and shame, and not wanting to experience the backlash. So I'm like, I just want no one to trust anything I say. But I actually don't want that. I do want people to trust what I say. Yeah. I just need to get better at communicating it. Yeah. And part of my people-pleasing process was allowing myself, the beginning had to be allowing myself to really realize when I didn't want to do something anymore. Yeah. Because I could not tap into not wanting to do it initially when I made the agreement. Yeah. I just wasn't at that place where I could navigate that.
And so last year I did No New Friends, which was great and helped my psychology. And next year I'm doing only 1 week of travel per quarter, which every time I say that, I realize that sentence is super privilegey. But
it's your reality.
Yeah. But I think it's really going to help me because I agree to way too much travel, and then I can't enjoy my house and my home, which I really love. So. Yeah.
And then I'll travel to you a lot.
Yeah, that's going to help a lot. You've been able to come here.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. So I have more travel next year.
Yeah, Juno and I
this fall even.
A few more hours together in life.
You're supposed to come together in the middle? Was that the prompt?
The thumbnail.
Aw. Wait, I want to make sure I look. What else? Is there something else? Oh, how long has this been going on? Probably over an hour.
No, it's only 40 minutes.
Oh, great. I want to say a little.
Let's make an agreement right now. Oh, actually, what that reminded me of is starting this podcast. That was one of the things we talked about is Juno said, I don't know how long I'm going to want to do the podcast. I might drop out anytime. Yeah. And I felt within myself and was like, I think it's worth it no matter how few episodes we do.
Cool. I'm glad.
Yeah. I do hope this podcast goes on for a super long time. I think that would be amazing. And I think you could help by supporting the podcast in every way so that it helps motivate Juno to stay forever.
That's so funny.
That's what we figured out in our relationship is the type of agreements we can have are this figuring out, can I emotionally handle if it doesn't work out?
Yeah. Oh my God.
And only agreeing to things with that in mind.
I think that's really important because a lot of people don't think about that and don't do that. Like when they make agreements, are like only thinking about it working out, and they don't have a plan. They don't have any type of like expectation of themselves or a strategy or idea of like, well, what will it look like if this person doesn't do it for me? How will I take care of myself?
Yeah.
And with the possibility that they could not adhere to the agreement, do I still want to make this agreement with them?
Yeah.
Just see people as fallible in that way. As humans, I think we're actually pretty bad at keeping agreements. And I think that's just something we need to deal with the reality of, is that it's actually really hard to keep agreements sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're chaotic and messy, and a lot of us are not good predictors of our own behavior.
Yeah.
So let's admit that first. Yeah, and you can still be angry about it.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah, one way I like to manage things, especially event type stuff, is getting enough other people to agree to it that if I don't show up, it doesn't matter.
Wait, things that you host?
Not as much hosting, but like trying to get a group of people to go to a thing.
Got it, okay.
My ability to cancel feels way higher if there's 7 people going than a one-on-one hangout.
Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense. Oh, interesting.
Even though I still have hurt people's feelings with that. They're like I say, like, oh, I'm actually not showing up. And then they're like...
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
It does suck, and I guess just take that as you're so valuable to have there.
Yeah.
Yeah, people love being around you, so...
Yeah, but I'm totally personally calculating on a regular basis how much the commitment mattered and whether or not I can cancel.
I do that a lot, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't want to do a lot of things. And it is so interesting for me to hear that from you, because I consider you to be, well, you are an extrovert, right? Do you consider yourself charged energetically from socializing?
Depends on the people, but yeah.
Okay, totally.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm an extreme introvert. I'm very depleted pretty fast from socializing with literally anyone. And it can be someone who I adore being with, and I just feel dead afterwards. And I'm like, I want to be alone for, ideally 24 hours. But I can't always get that, especially when I'm visiting. I want to spend time with Benzi.
Yeah,
so I'm like, okay, just give me the rest of the night. I'll see you tomorrow morning. You know, so, and it's, yeah. So what was the point of me saying that related to the agreements? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I think it's just interesting to hear you say that, because I consider you someone who loves to socialize. But a lot of times you don't want to, is what I'm hearing.
Well, my ideal situation would usually be being with one of my most energizing people doing relaxing things or creating art or, something like that.
And is it getting to be in a home environment is a really big deal for you?
My home is extremely energizing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've built a sanctuary of all my favorite things, pretty much. So
I hope to have that one day.
Me too.
I have my room, but I don't have my own home. Yeah. I just hope to have more input into a home. Yeah.
Totally. I want that for you.
That I can make into my own, sanctuary, if you will. Wow. So privileged. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I want to make my own sanctuary. But yeah, I want everyone to have a sanctuary.
Totally.
Yeah. And that is part of what's hard for me about making specifically agreements around plans with people, like hanging out with people, is that I want a robust social life. And my nature is that I've really been I'm always coming to terms with this, and it's always painful, is that I'm so depleted by people. I dislike most people. I don't like most people. Yeah. I'm bored by them or annoyed by them. Yeah.
That's so hot to me.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
Why is that hot to you?
I'm really attracted to judgmental high selection people.
That's so funny. I get it. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The pattern. Yeah, I'll try to form friendships with people either pretty early on or in a few months. I'm kind of like, I don't want to hang out with this person and I regret making plans with them, and now I have to tell them that I don't want to hang out with them anymore. I'm trying to figure out how to be discerning about how I even initiate hangouts with people, because usually I will not enjoy myself.
Which I do a lot of group, because I don't have very many people I want to spend one-on-one time with.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, there are people in my life who I invite to group settings and I don't want to be one-on-one with.
Yeah, I feel that way a lot too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what I found, so the mistake I've made...
Tell us your mistakes.
...is starting out a friendship with one-on-one hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
Like group hangouts too. Okay, we want to hang out one-on-one, and like doing that and then finding, okay, I hate this.
Yeah, and then
I have to tell them I don't want to make one-on-one plans with you anymore, but I still want to hang out with you in group settings, and that's like devastating to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't even want to hang out with me in group settings.
Yeah.
And I wish there was more, I don't know, resilience. I do wish this. I'm not saying they should be like this, but I want people to be more resilient to the idea that like friendships can just change. Like the dynamic of a friendship can change, and it doesn't mean we're not friends anymore. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean I don't like you. It means it's something about me.
Yeah.
I have a very particular, I even want to say like part of it is because of my neurotype. Like part of it is because of being autistic. Mm-hmm. And like the combo of autism and ADHD. Yeah, I just need a certain type of conversation and presence to be able to hang out with someone one-on-one. And if I don't have that, it has to be in a group setting where other people can be stimulating in a group altogether. Like that dynamic is stimulating enough to me, you know?
Totally.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
and
feel bad,
it's something it's hard to prepare people for, because I've told lots of people like, oh, like my attention comes in waves. Like sometimes it can be really intense and sometimes it's gonna lull, and I can't maintain constant excitement.
Oh God.
For anyone.
Yeah.
Or I've talked to people about it being like breathing in and breathing out and wanting...
That was not planned, that breathe in for me.
My ideal relationships, because I imagine other people are kind of doing this too. And it is magical when the time you want to spend together is aligned.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and it's difficult to prepare people's feelings for when it is misaligned. Mm-hmm. I feel sad when I want to hang out with someone more than they want to hang out with me. Like,
yeah,
it totally.
I feel sad too.
Yeah, and I try to take it as appreciation for the magic of mutual desire when it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's reminding me of one last thing that I would like to say, which is I found that it's helped me to keep plans with people so like I have learned that it is better for me to plan shorter one-on-one hangouts with people, with like most people. Yeah. And so previously I was just having these kind of very open-ended one-on-one hangout times, and then would feel trapped by my own mind in this like kind of indefinitely long hangout. Mm-hmm. And feeling like that was going to be the case in the future made me feel like, God, now I want to cancel because I don't want to talk with this person for 3 hours. Mm-hmm. Now I can just make an hour-long hangout. Yeah. And that makes it feel so much more accessible to me, because my attention does want to wander. Mm-hmm. Unless it's a really interesting conversation about a topic that is a special interest of mine, or they're a particular kind of person. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm okay. I can just do that. I can say, hey, we have an hour hangout, or we have a 90-minute hangout. Yeah.
My lens of what fits into both these personalities, good communal housing.
Oh my God, yeah.
For me, my ideal is I can be in my home, run into the people I love on a regular basis. And also, I would much rather come up behind someone and give them a kiss on the shoulder while they're doing the dishes and keep fleeting amongst my business.
Fleeting amongst your business.
With people I love around me. Yeah. Then being like, let's make a plan at this time and do it.
Yeah, which it just sometimes feels like this obligation then. Yeah. It's the demand avoidance.
My extroversion would prefer that it doesn't include direct attention on someone every single time I'm hanging out with them.
Same. Yeah. Yeah, more communal housing with our friends. Because I like that too. Because then it doesn't feel like I better make sure I get this time in right now, you know, because then they're going to leave and I'm not going to see them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's more like I can just have a spontaneous conversation with someone if I'm there. If they're not into it, it's fine. I would still want to make plans sometimes. But for the most, yeah, I do like just being in the same space.
Yeah.
And also over time, that creates this level of comfort, a feeling of safety, where it starts to get rid of some of what for me is this anxiety about spending time with another person. Mm-hmm. This idea of having to be on, you know, to hang out with them. No, you see me all the time when I'm in my most introverted, I don't know, messy, whatever state. Yeah. So I can just show up however I am. Yeah.
So that's my long-term life vision for sure.
Ooh, I want to say one more thing. I keep saying one more thing. I want to say one more thing.
As many one more things as you want.
Okay, great. Boom. Aw. I just love you so much. I love you too. Oh my God.
And I love you loving me.
I know you do. I love you loving me too. Oh my God, Benzi.
Oh my God.
My God. I'm just feeling so deeply in love with you right now. Oh.
Wow.
It's just filling me with this like euphoric feeling.
Oh.
I feel high from it right now. Oh my God. I saw that during my life. What the fuck?
Me too.
Why am I having this spiritual experience right now?
I'm just thinking all that time was worth it.
The time, what? The struggle?
Yeah, the years of you not loving me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then now I get to have you back.
Yeah, that's what needed to happen.
It's amazing. Yeah, and it's better.
All right, I want to say the thing I wanted to say, though, which is... What was I going to say? I got so distracted by our love for each other. Oh, okay. Something that I have been working into my way of scheduling also is communicating to people that the state that I'm in, you know, and basically like checking in with them. Do you still want to hang out if I am really tired, really burned out, really stressed out, in a bad mood, and this is how I need to show up? You know, I can't be on for you. Do you still want to hang out, or would you rather reschedule and have me be in a different state of mind?
I love doing that with people, too.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Because I don't want to always feel like with my friends, I want to be who I am. And, yeah, if I can't, that makes me feel like, okay, well, then I don't want to hang out.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a lot of work to basically mask.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah. I think actually that came from you, from hanging out with you.
Oh.
You prompted me to think about this because I would cancel a lot. On people all the time. And then there was one time when you said, I would rather hang out with you when you're in a bad mood or when you're tired than have you cancel on me. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
You know, wait, we can do that.
Wow.
So thanks for changing that for me.
Anytime. All right. Should we make an agreement?
What kind of
end the episode?
What kind of agreement are you thinking? Let's see how do you have an agreement that feels important to you?
Let's agree.
We'll see. But
to 40 minutes of thrifting and lunch.
40 minutes? Okay, here's the thing. I can so that's my intention and that's what I want. Okay. And if I were to, I can see me being like, oh, can I just have 10 more minutes or 5 more minutes?
Yeah, so what I want to do is set a 30-minute timer for shopping.
Oh, my God.
And then at that time, you would go in the dressing room and try on those items. Okay. And I'm not going to be...
Got it.
Like, it's exactly 40 minutes what's going on, but...
Get the shopping done.
30 minutes is the shopping cutoff.
I agree to that.
Okay.
I can do that. Yeah, awesome. That's easy. And then I'll just focus on the shorts, and if I have any time left from that 30 minutes, I get to look at the shirts.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I love it.
Great.
And then I'm excited for lunch. At Flower Child. Oh, I just said our location. Is that...
Well, we're in Tucson.
Oh, yeah, they know we're in Tucson. That. Okay. Yeah. Find us at Flower Child. This is going to be months later. This is posted.
Yeah, we're really curious to know what you guys think about agreements and about our passionate love. And if you've been inspired by any of the tools we presented on how to make more clear agreements, and if you have things that you saw as blind spots or things we can try out or find useful or talk about, we're very interested in you guys.
I've never had a blind spot in my life, though. No.
Yeah.
I noticed I immediately had an emotion when you said blind spots.
Really?
Yeah, but of course I have blind spots, but I also am.
Yeah, you literally have to wear
I'm
glasses.
also too proud. All right, thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Junzi podcast. As an independent show, we rely entirely on support from listeners like you. Subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and leaving a comment are incredible free ways to help us grow. If you want your thoughts featured, YouTube is the absolute best place to comment. We prioritize long-form YouTube comments over our short-form clips. If you want to dive even deeper, we host a special comment reaction episode at the beginning of every month, available exclusively on our Ko-fi. Ko-fi members get ultimate priority on questions, and higher tiers can even join us directly for group video hangouts. Check out the link in the description to see all the perks. A massive thank you to our founding supporters, Devin, Bara, Juliana, and Keith. See y'all next time.